Have you ever heard of Das Keyboard? This is one of the few companies that makes minimalist pure mechanical keyboards, ones that don't provide all the flashiness of typical gaming designs. Well, it was just a matter of time since they launched a new gaming lineup called Division Zero Pro. Today we've got the X40 Pro priced at $130. Is it a yay or a nay? Did Das Keyboard move too far from their simple roots? We'll find that out. But before that, a quick look at our sponsor.
Toshiba, now offering OCZ products that are awesome and affordable like the RD400, TR150, and VT180 that are backed by advanced warranty program, now stronger than ever under Toshiba.
The first thing I noticed after unboxing is the loud gaming slab of decorated aluminum. The aggressive styling might suit your taste, but I have mixed feelings about it. If you're not a fan of this silver and black color scheme, you can swap the top panel for a different design. In this case, they have 5 different options that include a limited edition Fox layout, Defamer Mustard and Silver, Striker Olive, and finally Striker Red, which is the extra panel that I have here. All you have to do is remove the 8 screws with the included Allen key and install the new panel. The problem is each faceplate costs $30, and unfortunately, Das Keyboard doesn't allow the option to order the X40 with your design of choice pre-installed. Really disappointing. On a positive note, the build quality is top-notch. The chassis alone is made out of some hard plastic material, but the top panel is crafted in metal, which adds weight to the keyboard, plus it refines the structural integrity of the keyboard, which is nice. You'll find a single USB 2.0 pass-through along with the audio jacks at the back of the X40. I suggest they add another port next time. Plus, please make it a 3.0 standard, it's 2016. The lack of a dedicated wrist rest could be a negative factor for this keyboard for some people, but not me. Coming from my daily driver, the epic little White Fox, which doesn't feature a wrist rest, I didn't feel left out, but it is something to be aware of, especially at this price point. One thing I should mention is the screws holding down the faceplate actually protrudes upwards. That means depending on your typing position, your hands may brush up against these. It can be pretty frustrating, especially with the screw closest to the spacebar, plus having your hands rest on aluminum during a cold day is absolutely uncomfortable. I'm not sure if this is just me, but I find the thick braided cable to be a little annoying, since it doesn't bend easily. There is good braiding and bad braiding, but with this cable, I miss a simple rubberized coating. I like to keep my setup as clean and minimal as possible, but this cable is just not easy to route. Plus, the fabric started fraying already on my samples, so be mindful of that. There are appropriate flip-out feet for angle adjustment, and the rubber pads at the bottom do a pretty good job holding the keyboard in place. The media buttons are programmed to the function keys, but I want to hear your thoughts about this implementation. Would it be better to have a dedicated section for play-by control on a keyboard of this size, or are you fine with them being programmed to the function keys? Let us know in the comments down below. On the left, there are 5 dedicated macro keys that can be programmed on the fly. This can be done by pressing the function key and the F12 key. Pick the macro key of your choice and start programming commands, characters, or anything that suits your convenience. Make sure to hit the function and F12 key again to save the recording. The Windows lock button is programmed as function plus F3 so you don't accidentally swing back to the desktop mode while gaming. It is certainly nice to have the keyboard that saves your setting locally, but I should also mention that there isn't any accompanying software here. That means functionality will be limited when compared against similarly priced competitors. Das Keyboard has designed a new switch for the X40 called the Alpha Zulu switch, and they come in linear and tactile variants. Both have 1.7mm actuation distance versus the 2mm on MX Cherry switches, and both have 45 grams of actuation force with a total of 4mm of travel distance. It's like their own version of MX Red and Brown switches, with the Zulu Tactile offering a softer actuation point. It's somewhere in between a brown and blue feeling, but with a slightly lighter press. Comparing to the MX Blue on the White Fox, the Zulu Tactile is a much softer switch that reduces finger fatigue, especially if you're performing really fast keyboard strokes for many hours. When compared to the Strafe RGB that features Cherry MX Red switches, I noticed that the keys on the X40 required a tiny bit of actuation force to register. This could be due to the tactile force on the Zulu switch, and I think that the linear variation of this switch would yield similar results like the MX Reds. Let's do a sound test. After playing Battlefield 1, I noticed that my movement throughout the gameplay was a lot smoother, plus my fingers were more comfortable without any cramping. Also, take note that the X40 supports full NK rollover. So the switches are nice, but does it grant the X40 such a premium status? For keyboard enthusiasts, maybe yes. The switch is high quality and has unique actuation properties, but if we're talking about the entire package, it's hard to ignore cheaper alternatives like the Corsair Strafe with real MX Cherry switches of your choice, and that's $30 saved. We can look past the lack of driver software, but the lighting system leaves more to be desired. It's only red illumination with brightness control, but that's it. The Strafe RGB that costs $10 more than the X40 comes with more features and better lighting that can be customized through a dedicated driver software. Although no doubt the faceplate customization on the X40 is unique. And I think that's the main selling point combined with the awesome Alpha Zulu switches. But in such a competitive market, it may take some time more to stand out. We wish the top plate customization at the time of purchase was more open, letting us choose which plate we want by default, and RGB lighting is expected at this price. It makes sense for their gaming line to be totally different from their professional series, but DAS keyboards are known for the simplicity and that certain elegance and perhaps some stealth black panels for the X40 would appeal more to their already established demographic. Overall, this is a very good gaming keyboard with interesting homegrown mechanical switches, but lacks some features I've come to expect at this price point. So let us know your thoughts about the X40 Pro gaming mechanical keyboard from DAS Keyboards. Would you pay $130 for this, or are there any alternatives that you might pick up, like the Strafe RGB? Looking forward to your responses. I'm Ibra with Canucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.